Hi everyone. You'll notice here what I've done is I've got my lion isolated onto his own layer. Let me show you how I did that. I duplicated my background, and then there is this tool here that is called a select object selection tool. And in this object selection, I just draw a box around my lion, and I make sure that that crosshair is completely in the lion. And look how I just selected it pretty darn good. Missed a little bit of its tail and got a little bit of the extra grass instead of its body, but that was a pretty good selection in there. You can refine that. I'll go to my lasso tool here, and I'm going to just subtract out. I'm holding down Alt, and I'm subtracting out that little section just like I would do in Photoshop. And I'm holding down the plus key. And it takes a little bit. There's a bit of a lag here, is what I'm noticing in this software, to be able to select in a little bit extra of the tail here as well. So once I've got that, I'm going to Control J, just like we would in Photoshop, to jump that onto its own layer. And look, there I have my layer with my lion. Now, I don't know if my recording software here is interfering a little bit. I'm having some troubles naming those layers. So you'll have to be patient with me. I am completely learning this online software called Photopea at the same time as you are. Well, there, it looks like when I paused my software, I was able to get that layer named so that it's now called Lion. Now, here's an easy step to do. Make sure you're sitting on your layer that only has your lion on it. You could shut these background copy and background off so that you can really see what you're doing. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave mine on just so you can see my stroke better. Go down to this layer style that's here at the bottom and choose stroke. And what stroke does is it's going to give it a 3-pixel stroke all the way around my object that's on that layer. And you'll see that I've changed my stroke so that it is white so that I can see it. And I think you should choose white as well. And I'm going to say, okay. Now I need to add a few more lines to this actual lion. So I'm going to do that on a new layer just to be sure that I'm not going to mess up my stroke that's here. So a new layer, and I'm going to call that strokes. Sorry, you're hearing everything that happens with my phone ringing. Take your brush tool, go to your brush settings. Let's make it a little bit smaller, like that 3 or 4 amount. Make sure your hardness is set all the way to 100% hard on your brush. And we want the color not to be red. I want my color to be white. So I've just clicked there and I'll say okay, and my color will now be white. And what we want to do is we want to draw some strokes around some of the other pieces of our lion so that we can really tell where things like his legs end. And in my case, I want this mane of my lion and his ears to have a little bit of different texture and shape to it. So I'm just drawing some extra little pieces of stroke throughout my lion to give it a little bit more definition. I think I better go around his face here. So sorry, you are really hearing my phone go off, aren't you? Okay, so back to the lion. You'll notice I've got my strokes done now on my lion, and that's where I'm going to end this first part of this video from. See if you can get your animal looking similar to what I have done here. Notice there is a way to save, so you can save this as a Photoshop file to your device, whichever that might be, your Chromebook, your tablet, your computer, and see if you can figure out the easiest way for you to be able to do that, to have it saved this far along.